sports listeners. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
This whole hour of Santa Barbara teen athletes. Woo! And we're talking all athletes. Good morning. You've landed on Teen Sports Radio. We've been around since 2010. It's beautiful. Not beautiful. It's so bad to say how beautiful it is in Santa Barbara. But if you in part of the world and you're checking out Teen Sports Radio and you don't know about Santa Barbara, Google it. Okay. When I see Moscow and Brussels, we just had a new city in Mexico. It's bad if I crush the way to say this. I so apologize. But in Central Mexico, we have a new city that's been following us now for a couple of weeks, and it's Querétaro. And I hope I said it right. Yeah, and I know I had to have Google tell it to me like 15 times. Never taken a Spanish class. But it's in Central Mexico, and they're actually known for their architecture. So, yeah. So, anyway, thank you all. And if you are from Querétaro, Mexico, Google, send me an email at queenofteensb@gmail.com. And we've got a T-shirt. I want to send you a T-shirt. So that's how we're going to start today. But we do have some more good news because it's only good here on Teen Sports Radio. Dr. D, you want to make the announcement?
Well, I certainly will. I will make the announcement, and that announcement is that Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio, 2 of the 4 broadcasts are moving to prime time. We are still going to be on at 9 a.m. Tuesday morning, but we're now going to be moving the nighttime Tuesday broadcast to 8 p.m., and then you'll be able to listen on Saturday at 8 a.m., and then, of course, our Sunday 6 p.m. broadcast. And so those are going to be the 4 times. We won't be on the other times. Forget about whatever else we've said. It's Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 8 p.m., Saturday 8 a.m., Sunday 6 p.m., and then, of course, you can hear online at SantaBarbaraTeenSportsRadio.com, as well as SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, Blueberry, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and many other locations. And also, you'll be able to see some of the videos of the program. And that is the updated news of the new time slots, 2 of them, 8 p.m. Tuesday and 8 a.m. Saturday.
Nice, thank you. We also 96.9 FM. We broadcasted all those times as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're on terrestrial radio. I forgot.
Yes, that's okay. I try to do that. So listen, let's go around the room. We've got a lot of show today, and I want to get to it. We've got people calling in, and but before we do anything, I always like to give thanks. So let's give some thanks. Anthony Rodriguez is in the house. You want to give some love to somebody from this last week?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wanted to give some mad love to Dominique Hackett for doing such an awesome job on helping us out with the minimizing financial hardship on our earthquake show. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the information that we got, and a lot of people loved it. So I just wanted to say thank you very, very, very much.
Oh, Anthony, honestly, I listened to it in the background. You absolutely killed it. And it really made me feel good how prepared we are. And we would have never gotten so prepared if you haven't over the years helped us prepare. So I really appreciate that, really, honestly. So I'm going to give my gratitude back to you, okay? Because we wouldn't be where we are today without all of your guidance. So thank you. Dominique, who do you want to give some love to?
Oh, gosh. Let's see. Huge love to Alice. I don't remember her last name. She used to be, a long time ago, about 2 decades ago, mayor of Cyprus. And she helps a group of people get tickets for the pageant of the Masters in Laguna. And
that was awesome.
We get the greatest seats, and it's such a wonderful event. And these wonderful people get together once a year down in Laguna to go to the pageant Masters. And my heartfelt thanks to Alice for including us in her group of people that get to have this great experience.
Yeah, you can still catch it. It's still being played all of August. Put it on your bucket list. It's like a magic show. And this is like our 5th year right now. And it was so much fun.
You can look on YouTube,
and they have
Pageant of the
videos.
Masters, and there'll be a video to explain what it is, but
Really
it brings
good.
art and history alive.
Yeah, it's really good. Excellent. If you haven't seen it, put it on your list. Kristine Marie is in the house. A little love. Who do you want to give some love to, Kristine?
I want to give some love to my staff, Department of Behavior Wellness admin unit, who are letting me have these 2 days off so that I can go, who are filling in for me, who are really amazing. So I can go to the Pageant of the Masters today. I'm so excited. I grew up in Laguna Beach. That's where I went to high school and was part of my junior high. Well, I lived where I was in junior high, and it's a beautiful, beautiful town. And it used to be an artist colony. And so I'm really excited to go. I haven't been there in a long time, and I haven't seen the Pageant of the Masters for 20, 30 years. So it's been a really long time. So I'm really looking forward to it, and super grateful to you guys too for making it possible.
Nice. Dr. Amy. Hi.
Hi. I'm going to give thanks to Mother Nature and her beauty and her grace and her power and her kindness and gentleness and inspiration and just making life better.
Nice. You've got a section for us today. I'm looking forward to it. Do you want to give us a little peek or no?
Yeah. At your request, I took a look at least one study on opioids and connection. So I'll share that. And if it's a theme that's of interest to people, we may look at some more research, but I'll share that one for today. And nice. I was also hoping that you would send a link or put up a link for Anthony's awesome talk somewhere if that exists.
Definitely.
It does exist.
Yeah, it does. Anthony, we'll get that out there. We've got another guy in the house, friend, go back a number of years now. We met on the ball field. Mike Mota. Mike, I'm going to let you tell your story here real quick after the break, but let's get to your gratitude. Then we'll take a break and we'll talk about you.
Sound good?
So what kind of gratitude you got for us?
Just want to give thanks to the kids and families that got to help me out with my program.
Nice. That's sweet. You want to name? You probably can name dozens. I mean, at one time you had over 100 kids. We don't have that kind of show. We'll have to pencil that out.
Yeah, I got a few, but I can't do it without those kids and parents.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's take a break. Got a lot of show today. This is Erica Saul, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back before after these messages. This is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m. This is Erica Salda. We're back. We've got in the house. We got Mike Mota in the house. He's kind of like, I don't know, Mike, you like my little brother, right? I guess that's what I feel. Right? This is odd. Call me at 10 o'clock at night. Hey, Mike. that's like a little brother, right?
I bug.
So,
I bug.
Yeah, but seriously. So what happened was, I don't know, he saved my bacon. I was just dying. I couldn't find enough kids to fill the camp. We had 50 scholarships through baseball scholarships to participate in Cal State Northridge. And it's one of those amazing things kids don't get, especially at-risk kids, don't get this kind of opportunity. Spend a whole day with a Division I baseball player, walk around campus, have classroom. Coach Moore did an outstanding job putting this program together. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, you got your hat, your cap, your t-shirt, you got to practice with the guys. I mean, I looked at it absolutely gave kids, at-risk kids, hope that, hey, I mean, if they can identify with or connect to one of these kids, they too can be a Division I baseball player. Anyway, could not fill the seats in Santa Barbara, couldn't get the information I needed in Santa Barbara to gift these things. I finally get a hold through networking, actually through Dominiqie, who had a friend that actually coached down there, got a hold of Mike. And all of a sudden I show up to this camp event and there's like 35 of his kids there. I was a hero. Mike, you made me a hero. That's all I got to say. So I want to get to you, Mike. I mean, you've been doing this. This has been, it's not even a journey. This is a ministry for you. So tell us your story of how you got started. Talk about your rise in baseball, where you ended up and how you got to where you're at right now.
Well, I started in college. I started over here in Santa Paula. Then I started working, did travel. I did all the stuff what kids did. Then I started high school. I started developing a good pitching arm that got me into college for free. Got opportunity to get a scholarship. Went to minors. Did all the fun stuff a kid wanted to do for where I came from. Accident. And I had the benefit going to college, paid for. And then I went to the minors. Then I did 2 years. I went all the way to AA. Then ended up coming back home. So I ended up coming with the disease in my leg. Then from there, I started a little travel ball team. Started from one team, only almost 9 teams. Until now, that was 10 years ago, and I still have it till then.
Nice. Okay, so let's speed up. Okay, so a few years back, 4 or 5 years back, out of nowhere, just kind of landing on you. You picked up, which is a different animal, because I've coached boys 28 years, and I picked up a couple of girls' teams along the way. I mean, different animal. So, but you ended up picking girls up and created a softball team. And these girls, how many girls on your softball team actually got scholarships?
All of them.
All of them.
So, my word.
I know. So they all got scholarships to play. And I remember that whole ride when you were talking to me, because we've been friends that long, and, you're giggling and you're laughing and, you can't even you're beside yourself how fun it is coaching girls. So now he calls me out of nowhere a couple of weeks ago, wins a tournament, wins another tournament, doesn't say anything. He's playing I Got a Secret, right? And I'm like, wow, you got, you're balling up another great team because, it's King Mike when it comes to coaching. I get it. I was the same way. I went undefeated for 6 years. Okay, I get it.
Right.
So then he's like, oh, yeah. He goes, you want to know the name of my team? I go, yeah. There's the SheDevils. Okay, the SheDevils. Now, I didn't want to be woke, and I don't know what that means. Did you pick up a team that, biologically, they were born? I don't know where we're going with this, right? And he goes, and he starts laughing. He goes, yeah, I picked up and built a baseball team around my niece, and we're legit. And we won the last 3 tournaments that I entered them in. He doesn't even say he's racking in a girls' team, okay? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this is marketing, okay? This is AM 1290 at its best, I mean, especially after COVID. So here I am texting. First person I text, Abe Jihadiman. Hey, okay? Hey, who's your baseball guy? I want to see if we could do a little scrimmage. And I don't say anything, got guys from down south because of COVID, whatever. I hushed it up, right? So then he gives me this guy, Wes, and I'm doing all this other kind of stuff. I'm not saying anything. So then I call my boy Vince Holian, because his daughter is on the Central Coast, undefeated, whatever. They win everything. They've been all on the with his girls. They've been all on the show a few times. So because softball, baseball, people know each other, especially if you're a boy and a girl. So he gave me another coach. So now I've given you these 2 coaches. So we'll see how this manifests if the universe wants it to go in this direction. So Dr. Amy has a question for you.
Well, yes. Given Mike's humility and success, I'm wondering if he has like 1 or 2 sentences for athletes, for parents, and for coaches, like his primary principles for his teams.
Basically, like I tell the kids, if you're willing to work hard for 2 hours, I am willing to teach you. I don't care if you're good, not, first time stars. If you work, great kids, you're humble, I'm taking you. Basically, work hard, be a nice, humble person.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
What do you want parents and coaches to know?
Say it one more time.
What do you want parents and coaches to know about youth sports?
Basically, it's a game. Kids need to have fun. You have fun, they're there to hang out with kids. Fun. Yeah.
I can imagine. He'd be the guy that's just so humble, quiet. He sits down, doesn't say a pipey word. We'd be great. We'd be the yin and yang, right? And all of a sudden, makes this is right. Like, I get up, I knock down the bats. Come on! You're gonna get it right next time. It's okay. It was a mistake. I get it. It's all right. Right? And this is it. Mike could be.
You put me on the field, I'm a lot different.
Yeah, Mike would be. It's okay, Erica. Sit down. It's no. Relax. Not funny.
So how can teens reach you to be able to join your teams?
Say it one more time. I can barely hear you.
Yeah,
in Fillmore.
You said, how can people reach you so if they want to be on your team?
Oh, they just could call me or just email me at Duke's. My Instagram at Duke's Baseball.
Duke's Baseball.
Duke's Baseball. Yeah. Got it.
No, it shows up all over the place. It's like, and I love the girls' team's name, SheDevils. So you want to give some shouts up to a couple of girls before we take a practice? Who's your pitcher? Who's the catcher? I want to know who the catcher is. That's what I want to know.
It's going to be Kimmy Casales and it's going to be Jackie Gonzalez.
Oh,
pitcher and catcher.
So they're related?
No, two different friends.
Nice. So again, like you had said, as you told me, this all started. So who's your niece?
Kimmy.
Ah.
Yeah. She wanted a team. And she wanted to do baseball, so I thought just bring me girls and from your softball team, and I'll teach them. It'll take me a couple months, but they got it quick.
Wow, that's really so great. Good. And is she in college now?
No, they're little kids.
They're little kids. Eighth grade. Got it.
That's what's so magical about it. They're eighth graders. So the more experience they get, especially, the better it's going to be for them. And it's like, I mean, when you think about it, growing up, we played baseball. We didn't play softball till eighth grade. We didn't have it.
Right.
So when the dads were hitting balls, they weren't hitting softballs, they were hitting baseballs. So anybody who is athletic, I mean, it's not like it hasn't started. There's just no organized teams like Mike's, has got set up. How many teams do you have now, Mike?
6.
Nice.
6 teams.
6 teams total. Great. Well, listen, you're doing it the right way. And oh my God, I'm so happy. And I'm looking forward to hoping that this comes true, whether it's up in Santa Barbara or down in Fillmore, guaranteed we're there. Okay, I'm going. That's it.
All right, sounds good.
I'm not only going, I'm buying the pizza. How's that?
All right, there. That worked even better.
All right, so let's take another little break. This is Erica Saltzman.
Ahead of this, but I need to step out now.
No worries. We'll keep in touch. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Let's take a break. We got Hygge right after these messages. And this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Saltzman, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Welcome back to Teen Sports Radio. I'm Dominiqie with Santa Barbara Wellness Center, and I'm bringing you a Hackett's Hygge moment. So Hygge is all those qualities in our life that are comfy, cozy, and help make life really enjoyable, make learning more fun, make it fun to be on team sports. And one of the things that I love to do is I love to tell stories. And I love to learn things from telling stories. So I have a quick story. This story it was about a teacher and a student in class. And the teacher was asking lots of questions. It was a biology class. And the teacher came up to one of her students and said, how many kidneys do we have? And the student responded, 4. And the teacher was a little shocked. 4? The heck are they coming up with 4? So the teacher thought about, maybe she should ask the question slightly differently. And this time she asked the student, how many kidneys do you have? And the student responded, 2. I mean, we all know each of us have 2 kidneys, right? So the teacher was really happy that the student got the answer right. And the teacher asked, if you knew the right answer before, why did you say 4? And the student innocently replied, at the time you asked me how many kidneys we have, well, we, you and me, we have 4 together, right? Because we is an expression that's used for plural, right? So the student was really trying to get the answer right.
And the paper.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the short little moral to the story, is that in life, sometimes we don't understand the other person's point of view. And that before jumping to the conclusion that a person is wrong, we may want to double check that we understand their point of view before we decide
or not
whether
the sharpest
it's right
tool in the shed. I get it. I get that.
Well, but there's also another thing here. So I do an exercise, which we can't do because it's visual, about 9 dots. So, and the usual take home point for that exercise is talking about like thinking outside the box. But the other points of this exercise are how do we face challenges? How do we talk to ourselves when something's difficult? And if you're really paying attention, this puzzle, and you can Google it online, try to Google it without the answer showing, but this puzzle has multiple solutions that are all correct. And especially in school, we fixate on, quote, the right answer, and it diminishes connection and creativity and possibility. And I'm not saying that there aren't times and places where there really is a right answer, but we don't want to shut that down. And I'm sure Kristine Marie has something to add about this approach from her educational background.
About the right answer?
Yeah, and following students' lead and being curious, like, isn't that your whole educational philosophy?
No. Well, I mean, it's part of the philosophy. For me, the philosophy is really about, I was an early childhood educator in Waldorf education, and it was about really holding sacred the imagination of the child and the human being. So you are correct. There are certain times where I would be telling certain stories and children would say, this is my perspective of the story. And I'd say, wow, wow. I wouldn't tell them, no, that's not right. Right. I would say, wow, okay, I hear you. So it is allowing their imagination and how they think in the world to evolve, because we all really do have different perspectives, and sharing them with each other is, I think, the most important thing, and respecting and honoring other people's perspectives. And then, some certain things have happened where, I would tell the Christmas story at Christmas time, and I would talk about the mother, the father, and the child, because I believe we're all children of God. And I believe that there's this spirit and light in each of us. And so the children started having a conversation about the Christmas story and saying who they thought who this was and who that was. And I said, and then parents got involved, and were some were upset that I was teaching a story of Christianity, but I was telling a sacred story, and the children were free to interpret. So once I explained that to the parents, they understood more. But some of them came home because their children had taken the stories that the other children had shared. So it's really powerful. As adults, we can kind of get locked in our own perspectives too. So yeah, thank you for that. Thanks for including me, Dr. Amy.
And what I love is a gentle reminder to ourselves, rather than jumping to the conclusion that somebody else is wrong, pause and ask more questions and understand another person's point of view and allow for, as Dr. Amy said, allow for that creativity of mind that, hey, maybe we're both right. And so that's my comfy, cozy thought, is that relaxation into asking more questions before jumping to a conclusion that somebody else is wrong.
And that is really, that adheres or reminds me of my philosophy in terms of we're moving from a sort of dualistic perspective, the sense of that if I'm right, you're wrong, or if you're right, I'm wrong, into this point and periphery perspective, where there's a point of perspective, there's a point of view, and all around it is a sphere of periphery, all of which those perspectives are true from every point around that entire sphere. All we have to do is move ourselves to where that other perspective is. If it looks green from one side and blue from the other, it is green from one side and blue from the other. And until you're there in that other person's perspective and see their point of view, you can't. I would invite us to entertain the idea that it might be true, even though it's different from our own perspective, because that allows for more points of view to inform the circumstances. One of the things at Waldorf we used to talk about was that there were 13 people at the Last Supper. And so it takes 13 perspectives to at least 13 perspectives to actually come to, a more whole picture of something.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And I think before we go to break, and I think another thing that we might want to focus on a little bit is, if you are getting heated by somebody's perspective, instead of reaching out to them and launching on them, why don't we figure out why we're heated?
Why we're heated, and go, that's my work.
Exactly. Because
the heat.
If you get charged up on something, then that should tell you that you need to do some, talk to Dr. Amy, okay? Give her a ring, okay? Because it's not about the other person. It's about you. It's a mirror. So you need to do the work. Let's take a break. This is Erica Salda. We've got Anthony Rodriguez in the house after these messages.
Well, now together we will stand, every boy, girl, woman, and a man. Together we'll stand, divided we'll fall. Come on now, people, let's get on the ball and work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we will stand, every boy, every girl, and a man.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
9 a.m.
Hey, everybody. This is Anthony Rodriguez from the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County. And we've been having some great times learning about how to prepare for disasters. And we did an awesome job about preparing for disasters, your disaster supply kits. And, we just have to remember these things. These are things that are going to help us. We don't have to be freaking out. That's the whole purpose. We don't want you to freak out. We want you to be prepared. So always remember that you have to get your supplies ready, especially for your little puppies, your babies, people with access and functional needs. We have to be prepared ahead of time, because if something happens, we're just going to be stressing out, and that's what we don't want to do. So make sure you always have water. Make sure you have small bills. Make sure that you get things that you like. There's a lot of places that you can buy your kits, but it's not customized to you. So make sure that you customize your kit to fit your ideas, your thoughts, your favorites. And if you have kids, make sure you have some toys, because otherwise they might be driving you crazy. So it's a good thing to have. It'll help you be able to think a little bit more clearer, especially when you are prepared. We're not going to be prepared for every single thing, but the more prepared you are, the less likely that you're going to be going crazy, stressing out. You'll be able to think, and you'll be able to evacuate safely and calmly if you're prepared. So, and another cool thing that we had was Dominique Hackett. Dominique, you want to talk to them about what you talked about?
Sure. And Anthony, I just want to give kudos to you in your presentation, because I didn't think about the importance of having, you kind of call it a bug out bag under your bed. And that we even said to anchor it so that it doesn't go moving somewhere. So like maybe lightly tie it to the post of the bed so that it doesn't shift in an earthquake, and you know where to grab it and to stick the pair of shoes in there.
Yep,
I really appreciate that. I had not thought about that. So all of these wonderful resources, what's the website for that checklist?
So you can go on to the ECA, which is the Earthquake Country Alliance website, and you can get all the checklists there for your under the bed bag, your go bags, your car kits, your home kits, your work kits. You have all kinds of checklists on the ECA website, and I'm the co-chair for the ECA Central Coast region, so you can actually look up our information there, and you can also see the most recent webinar that we had on tsunamis. We had a great presentation. You can take a look at it on the website again. It's on the ECA website, earthquakecountryalliance.org. And then you'll also be able to get some of those on our website at the food bank, so foodbankspc.org.
Awesome.
Great. That's awesome.
I did a quick presentation where I just reviewed with everyone here's the acronym, EFFAK. So that is the Emergency Financial First Aid Kit. Now, who would think of doing a financial first aid kit? And what I did was, this is a great brochure that FEMA put out. If you download this is 40 pages. It's free. You download it and just slowly, every time you pay bills, or every time you're, like sitting at your desk, you fill out that financial information. Oh my gosh.
I would actually print it and put it at the watering hole.
So I recommended some parts of it, put it in your bathroom so that you read it, because W.C. Fields was famous for saying his water closet was his library. So this document that FEMA put out is really fantastic. Not only will it help you with, in case there was a disaster or something, to have things all together, but we also shared ideas like, you can easily scan things in with your computer, with your phone. And then if you have an encrypted email, I don't recommend Google because Google's not encrypted, but there are free, like Proton Mail is free, Skiff, SKIFF, they have free. But if you email these documents to yourself in an encrypted email, you have them. You don't have to worry about grabbing a flash drive. So when there's a disaster that occurs, you just worry about your kids and your dog, your cat, and your people. And that way your financial information is safe. Keep it in an encrypted space.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. We've done that. So, and again, Anthony, kudos to you, because never thought about it, but it's always nice to rather, failing to plan is planning to fail. So there's a few things that you can get done, and it's not a big deal. When it's
great checklist.
It's a great,
just walks you through it.
This whole thing, it's a guide, because like you said yesterday, it's not an if, it's a when. And it's always nice to get ahead of anything in life. It helps, God forbid. Kristine, do you have anything you want to add?
I think, the more we feel comfortable and ready for things, the more we're able to adapt to things when they happen. I think preparation is key. What is I think, and then we can feel, life there are so many things that happen. We can control what we can control. So we may as well do that, right? And be prepared as we can. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alex, you going to bring a couple of weights with you in your bug out bag?
No weights, Erica. No weights in a bug out bag.
I do love the idea of the bug out bag, and I'm going to put one under my bed.
Yeah, make sure, like I said, a lot of people, they say, oh yeah, I have my shoes under my bed. But don't just put your shoes under your bed, because what if something breaks? You don't want to step into your shoes and then cut your feet. So you have to put it in a bag so it's nice and secure, and none of your stuff is going all over the place. If you have a flashlight, good to have a flashlight, but it's better to have one of those headlamps, the minor headlamps, because then it leaves your hands free. To be able to grab your kids, grab your your go kits, anything that you need to take. But put it in a bag. Put it in a bag.
Things to think about. Let's take another break. We've got Dr. Amy right after these messages.
Brazil. Back in the USSR. Way down in LA. Every day, dancing in the street. Crossing China too. Me and you, dancing in the street.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
9 a.m.
Hello, you are with Team Sports Radio. This is Dr. Amy at stillquietplace.com and spotaspider.com. And over the last several weeks, we've been talking about addiction, and particular opioid addiction. And so Erica had asked me to share at least a little bit of the new science. And so I'm going to talk about one study, and we may end up doing more studies, but this study is by Kristine Inagaki, Inagaki. And I will give Erica a link to an article that's written for lay people that explains the study, but I'm just going to go through some of the high points now. And I think the most important point is that what we're learning is that there is a connection between opioids and our sense of connection in the world. So opioids cause the warm feelings that we get in social encounters, and they encourage us to become more engaged with others. And the study was that they took a drug called naloxone, and they gave it to regular people. And naloxone blocks the action of opioids in the brain. What they did is they gave naloxone to people for 4 days and had them report on their social connection. Then they had what's called a washout period. And then they collected information on people without naloxone for 4 days. And at the very end of each of the 4-day study periods, they had the participants read loving notes from friends and family to see how they felt about the notes. And what they showed is that they felt that people who were not on naloxone, so people whose opioids are functioning normally in their brain, felt more connection in everyday activities and during the lab task than when they weren't on naloxone. So when their opioids were functioning normally. So what this means is that opioids contribute to a feeling of connection. And so what we want to do is help people establish that sense of connection without the opioids or without external opioids. And we need to recognize and have compassion for the fact that different people have different genetic makeups. And so they respond to what's called endogenous opioids and external opioids differently. Each of us responds differently based on our genetic makeup. So and then the other thing is that we want to be careful, and we want to think about how we're treating addiction. Because often when we treat addiction, we isolate people from their support networks and put them in some kind of rehab with people they don't know, and we give them naloxone. And so we're trying to treat an addiction that's probably at least in part due to lack of connection by isolating people and diminishing their response to the connection they have. So that doesn't make sense. So as we look at treatments for opioid addiction and prevention of opioid addiction, we need to look, as I said last week, at helping people reconnect with themselves, reconnect with their friends and family, and reconnect with their passions. So with that, I will turn it over to questions or comments, or perhaps Kristine Marie will pull a card for us.
Any questions or comments? Well, when you first started when you first started talking, Dr. Amy, I was, pulling some cards, and I thought, oh no, that can't be the right card. And I skipped over it, and I realized, no, that is the right card. There's a card, it's the Six of Pentacles, which is about generosity. And it's about the generosity. In one deck I have, it's like this little girl catching coins falling from the sky. It's this kind of generosity that comes from nowhere. It's about prosperity or pennies from heaven, that kind of thing. But it's really also about the generosity that we give each other, and the compassion we have for each other. And it's really important to remember that it's also it's as important to give as it is to receive, especially when we're talking about connection. Were you raising your hand there too?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say specifically, and this is something we talked a little bit about on the break, but I think we need to be particularly careful about giving people who are addicted that compassionate generosity, and giving people who have family members who are suffering with addiction the compassionate generosity, because they really, really need it. And so often what they get is judgment.
Yeah. The other card that I did want to talk about today is the Hierophant card, which is the number 5 card, the 5th card on our journey through the major arcana. We went from the Fool to the Magician to the High Priestess to the Empress to the Emperor, and now we're at the Hierophant. And the Hierophant on this deck is a man sitting in the roots of a tree, while the leaves are kind of falling down on him. And it reminds me, and in a lot of decks, it's sort of a religious card. But this card really reminds me about connecting with kind of our information for this lifetime. It reminds me of Buddha sitting in the roots of the Bodhi tree when he realized all the suffering of the world, and that the suffering of the world, and along with that came the how to help heal. And then he stepped out of his royal life and became the Buddha. And so I think it's a beautiful story of the capacity of helping others. The Eightfold Path, the Buddhist Eightfold Path, is, right speech, right action. I know that there are more paths. There are 8 actions there, but it's really about consciousness and compassion. And I think we each have a reason for being here. And when I see the Hierophant card in a reading, it kind of means for all of us to check in about why we are here and what our information is for this lifetime. What is it that's ours to give? And a lot of times, my understanding is that the wound is the doorway to the gift. And so when we are in pain and there are things that are happening in our lives, it's in the healing of that we are able to then offer gifts to each other. Sometimes we don't want to be in pain. Sometimes we don't, and we don't understand what's happening or why would this happen to us? I don't know the answer to that, but I know in my own life, I found that the things that have been at times in my life unforgivable or I don't want to deal with, when I've gotten through them to the other side, I found that I actually have something to share and some goodness to offer others around that. And I think those who've been through addiction, who are going through addiction now, whose family members are going through this and who are suffering, it's my imagination and my hope, and I invite you to entertain the possibility that there is a gift you have to give through this process.
Kristine.
Yes.
Thank you. Alex, I wanted you to add to this because one thing I know is that when somebody feels good about themselves, they should keep it really simple, right? Love yourself. Movement is life, as Dominique always says when I'm, not moving around. Take a walk around the block, Erica. And I didn't want to do it. I do it. I feel a lot better. Talk to us, Alex, about just the whole movement, that connection with yourself. Love yourself. It makes it easier to love others. And you've gone through a lot as an individual, so you've used it. Talk about it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's a heavy subject. My name's Alex with Fit for Life 805. Amy, you had a really good point too with the opioids and being in a social setting. I feel like people aren't comfortable with themselves, which is why they need that dependency on certain things to be in a social setting, to feel comfortable. And sometimes people get peer pressure if they want to be sober. Like for me, I don't drink. So when I go to a social event and people look at me like, oh, you don't drink. It's like, well, what's wrong? Immediately, like they judge you. What's wrong? Why aren't you drinking? When I say it's, my lifestyle. I'm a trainer. I got to get up early in the morning, and after that they don't say anything. Or I tell them, you know what, I'm the DD tonight. And after that, they leave me alone. But it's immediate judgment. And sometimes people don't want to go through all that. And that hit me kind of close to home when I heard that. I was like, that's true, because I would drink to feel comfortable, but I wasn't comfortable with me. And that was the problem. I was judging myself. And then I was afraid to be judged by others, which kind of led to the dependency of alcohol. So it's hard.
I just think, when you're working with kids today, because this show is about teen athletes, they've got so much pressure. They have the whole social pressure within their group, and then they have the media pressure. They do anything, and they're all addicted to how much attention they're going to get. So it's tough. And what we need to do, and that's why the tools that Dr. Amy can teach us about connection, they're more important than ever. And actually hooking into somebody, asking them how they feel. Let's work on that this week, guys. This is Erica Salda. Lots of love. Check out our rebroadcast. We're out of time. God bless. See you next week.